Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Welcome to the Unphased Podcast. You know what it is, the number one motortainment show in the world, where we do our best, our very best, to show you how to stay unfazed in this world that will definitely try to phase you. I'm here, Mr. Unfazed, the Unfazed Guru, Unfazed Sensei, Phase on McClurge. You know, we got Mr. Real Deal McNeil doing on the DJ booth, whatever he doing over there, he getting right. But today, backstage, can you solo me out real quick? Because this is a very important episode. A very important episode, a very important guest that we have on the pod today. Today, we're diving deep with the powerhouse of talent, an inspiration, a brother, a Cornell graduate, football captain, and finalist for the William V. Campbell Award, aka the Academic Heisman, if y'all didn't know. This guy is a Flint, Michigan legend, someone who is a testament to incredible growth, commitment, and evolution. But beyond the beats, beyond the bars, he's one of the most intelligent human beings that I know and a continuous source of inspiration for me in all aspects of life. He's not just a dope artist, but truly a phenomenal friend, a phenomenal brother. From where he started to where he is now, he continues to amaze us all. So I know his story was just right for day 17 of the 30-day pod stream. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up, we have Mr. Jelani Taylor. Let's do it.
I'm unfazed, I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper. I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper. I'm unfazed.
Hey, hey, come on, man!
Yeah.
Let's go!
No, appreciate you.
Yeah,
Appreciate the
this a big.
kind words. Yeah.
Oh no, man! I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, man. It's a blessing to have not only like a brother come on the pod, but it's cool that when you can have a brother who's actually doing some big things. You know what I mean? Like you could just I could bring any dude on the pod, like it's my best friend, what it is, but it's like no, you're actually doing stuff. You're inspiring people. You making music. You know what I mean? So it's an honor to have you on the pod, bro, for sure.
No, that's love, man. It's definitely an honor to be on the pod. You know, I'll be tapped in
Yeah.
with Unfazed, so
Come
it's good
on.
to be on this side of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I did for
Yeah,
sure.
come on, man. We want to get right into it, bro. I know E got a lot of questions. I seen E is actually into the DJ. You know, he
I just
DJs
think
for
I
real.
saw it a
Come
little
on
bit.
now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So no, he gets
Hey,
right for real. He gets right for real. But I
all
know
right,
he
go
gonna
ahead.
have a lot of
Feel free when you get a
questions.
second. Send me some tracks. You know, send me try to scream in there.
Hey,
Man.
say
He gonna
less.
get right.
Got
He gonna
Now I was
add him
really
in the
messing. I ain't gonna
junction.
lie, low key. I definitely went and downloaded that little stereotype joint. I was messing with that.
that's
I was like,
love.
it's all look, it's all fire. Like, hey,
Yeah,
Come on, he don't mess
let me
around.
get this right here.
I'm saying.
But I think it's really cool just like even like before that, right? Like before like the genesis of where me and you meet, right? I want to have to touch on that because I think it's very important. So I'm trying to figure out what school I'm going to. I decommit from North Dakota State. I was gonna go there play football. I choose to go to Cornell University. I come to Cornell University. I had Harvard, I had Brown, I had Princeton. Like I could have went to a good amount of all the Ivy League schools. But when I got to Cornell, I walk into the room first. These niggas, they tried to trick me. They tried to get me to come. They persuade me. I'm walking in. I hear some Chance the Rapper playing. I'm like, oh, I fuck with Chance, Chicago. Okay, they know what they doing. I'm in here. But overall, we had a good time, bro. And I think the reason that I chose to come to Cornell was because of you, was because of Leak, was because of Mo, and I really got that genuine vibe right off the get go. And I already knew, like the people were telling me, "Hey, Jelani, he's the guy on the football field, blah blah this and that." It's before the rapping,
Mhm.
before anything. You've always been like a stand up individual, bro. But even with that, I want to start like before that. So,
Yeah.
kind of what were the roots? Because we talk about Flint, Michigan, and I know that runs deep. You know what I mean? That's if you're talking about Jelani, you're talking about Flint. You know what I mean? You really big on your city. Kind of what does the city mean to you?
Yeah, man. Wow, it's crazy you bringing up your visit. You visit on a Tuesday, so we was already looking
Yeah, that
like
was crazy. I visited on the worst week
it
to
was a
visit of
Tuesday. It was
all.
crazy.
It
They
was the
had
worst
you
week.
like, that was crazy. But yeah, good thing you end up committing. But yeah, I mean, as you know, the city, Flint. I'm from Flint, but I think we really. But I'll get to talking about Flint because Flint is super important to me. But even before then,
Mhm.
to get to like where I'm from
Yeah,
originally.
Indiana,
Um,
right?
It was Indianapolis. So I was born and raised for a good amount of my life in Indianapolis, from the east side of Indianapolis. So the people who know the east side. It was brought up, raised there. Me, my siblings, all kind of raised real tight knit in that way. Ended up moving to Flint, like right before 7th grade started. So that's when I became a man in Flint. I like to say, you know what I mean. Met my fiance, all of these different things, and like kind of experienced the whole life there. But Flint, Flint has a certain rap. People. I was up at Cornell hearing people say, "Oh, the water." You know what I mean? Automatically go to that, but it's a city that's a lot of talented people. Whether that's athletics, whether it's the arts, whatever happened to be. But a city that's a lot of people from Flint are loyal to Flint. Which, you know what I mean? It's a really good community. I say we came up like very community based, especially when you look at like where my pop's from. Because my pop's from Flint. Where he's from in Flint, and where I went to like high school and kind of in the 8th grade all the way through high school, which is Beecher, which is in Flint, but it's kind of separate from it. So Flint, it's always gonna be home. You know what I mean? Now living in New York, I never thought I knew I'd leave Flint, but I never thought New York or anything like that. I didn't even have that in my mind, especially as it separate from football. You know what I mean? I thought football was gonna take me wherever I go. So like I said, Flint's always gonna be the crib. It's where my people still stay. And it's a lot of love there.
No, 100%, bro. I think it's so cool just to like wherever the origin story is, because I know we talked about it a little bit too, is like your music and everything you rap about is your story. So like you said it earlier, like if you listen to my music, you're gonna get to know me. Whether it's like, and I feel like a lot of people, it's like 50. I'm not gonna say people aren't like that or are like that, but it's like for you, it's literally like, okay, I'm telling you my story. I'm telling you where I came from. I'm telling you what I went through with football and everything like that. And transition over to even to football, we have a lot of people on, a lot of football players on this podcast, former football players, current football players. And I think one thing that we always talk about and connect about is that wanting to make it to the next level, that wanting to always, hey, the goal is I'm getting to the league, I'm getting my mom, I'm getting pops, I'm getting them a crib. We all gonna be set. You know what I mean? And what was that for you, like growing up? And then also like, what was the impact that football had on your life?
Yeah, nice. I mean, football, sports in general, I like to say was like that was the ticket. Growing up in places like the NAP, which is what people call Indianapolis, or Flint, it's you're gonna do something with music, or you're gonna do something with sports. Like that's how it is in a lot of urban environments, I think. So for me personally, I always made music on the side, but but football specifically, that was actually the last sport I tried. I did baseball first. They put me in the outfield as a little kid, didn't like that.
That's what that is.
You know what I mean? It was not, they weren't hitting it out there. So that just wasn't it. Hooped, and then hooped for, all through high school and everything. But you stop growing. Hoop is not for everybody. You know what I mean? Once you get to a certain height. So then football is one thing, I grew up playing quarterback. So for me, playing quarterback, my dad being a coach, like I just like fell off into it and was like, okay, this could be the ticket that could like change our family life. So for me, I took football, extra serious, even compared to, the people who I was in high school with and all of that. And it's funny that I'm like part of my job today, or, my job, I'm at an AI startup outside of the music and doing tech sales. The sales really started back then with football, where it's like even getting to Cornell. I'm not even sure we talked about this before, but getting to Cornell, there used to be these websites. I don't know if y'all ever went on them, where it's like you could fill out a questionnaire for every single what's it called? Every single like college. So I looked up every Division I school, found all of the defensive coordinator, head coach, and like DB coach phone number, and called every coach in America. Like every D1 coach.
And I know that.
And then emailed them my transcript and my like ACT score and my highlights, and like, hey, look, I'm all state. Cornell, one of the people who actually like he responded, Coach Backus, who recruited me. He responded. I raised money to go to camp. That's how I even got to Cornell, was me reaching out to them versus them reaching out to me. So it was something that I like for sure like took in my own hands, if I'm being honest. Which I always recommend to other people, like athletes coming up today, especially with the transfer portal, it's even harder. Like you gotta kind of get
It's different.
yourself out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean that was like the origin of getting, off to Cornell. And when we connected, one thing I connected with you on from the beginning was I came near like, hey, I'm coming here because I can get to the league from here. I didn't really know too much about the school part. I knew I was smart, but I was like, look, I seen somebody went to the league from here, I could do that. And I knew we were kind of aligned in that way, which, allowed us to keep locked in going forward. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I've talked about that in the pod before. It's kind of crazy, like where we started at Cornell, like freshman year, just like seeing, okay, yeah, we can get to league. And then like our senior years or junior years, we're looking like, okay, yeah, you definitely can get to the league here, but they ain't making it easy. That's like y'all ain't like we could have been like we had a squad too, but it's like definitely cool because you see like just the transition of how we grow and how we develop into athletes, but into people. Because I feel like Cornell, like it's one of the best schools in the world. I say that all the time, but the connections and the people we meet and all of
Yeah.
that was one of the most influential points about being there outside of the football. Because like football, like I could have went a lot of places and did what I did at Cornell, you know what I mean, and still been in the same exact position, you know what I
Not
mean.
exactly.
But I think it is cool. I think it is cool though. Yeah, exactly.
We know y'all got a love for the sports. We know y'all got a love for
Talk
the
to me.
game.
Talk to
You
me.
know what I'm saying? But respectfully, that's
Oh
not
my
why you
guy.
saying my
Here we
dog
go.
here. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
more excited and enthused. The same way we have that same passion, fuel, and drive, you know what I'm saying, for sports. We see that you found a love, elsewhere, you know what I'm saying? Something that speaks, you know what I'm saying, I think core to the soul with a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? Music. Music's gonna resonate in our spirit. It's been here since ancient times when our ancestors were doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? I guess I'm more curious, you know what I'm saying, to, where that original love for music originated. When did that come into your life? You know what I'm saying? How did you know what I'm saying? Because again, you were playing football, I'm sure, while you were doing music, but when did music, you know what I'm saying, tap into your life? Was it at a young age? And then how did that develop into, say what you got going right now?
Yeah, great question. So for me, I mean, music's always been a part, I'm not gonna, make black households monolithic, but in my household, music was played from, the moment I was born all the way through, you know what I mean? So for me, music was always a part of whether it's us going to church, our nana taking us to church and we being in the choir and all of these different things, all the way to when we went home. And I think I was fortunate to, be raised by my nana son, be raised by my mom's son, be raised by my pop's son, all of them having different music. Like sometimes I'm listening to Anita Baker and stuff like that. Other times it's more Indie and stuff like that on my mom's side. Then my dad might be listening to Run DMC or something like that. So I'm getting a pretty well-rounded, at least black sound from a black music standpoint. So I always was like attracted to music from back then and things like that. I think for me, Phaz, I rapped in high school,
Well, rap on that table
in college, you know what I mean? Like we put out freestyle mixtapes where our phones, me and my brother, just put our phones next to each other, one of them playing the beat, one of them recording, and us just making whole mixtapes. So like that was what we did instead of like being outside and doing stuff that could have, strayed us in a different way, which is easy to do in places like Flint. So music was always like that safe haven, like, oh, okay, I can express myself. I also always been a writer. So like always been into like the poetry, not in a sense of like, oh, I know what this stanza is supposed to be and things like that, just in a sense of that's how I resonate and I'm able to, get things out. So we fast forward to football ending. So football ended for me with like I graduated a semester early, trained for the league the senior spring, day before the pro day, COVID canceled everything, never got to do the pro day, stuff like that. And me trying to deal with that. Yeah, it's tough. So me trying to deal with that, the only thing that felt somewhat similar to football in terms of passion was music. Yeah. And I think that's because there was purpose behind it. Ultimately, it's something that I feel like, especially rap and hip hop, is something that I can express myself first and foremost, but also I can articulate an idea that can change the mind or heart of people I care about. And if I could do that and, that touch one of y'all and then that y'all share with somebody else who touches somebody else and somebody else, that's an impact that like really can't be quantified in my mind. So that's what made me like double down on it.
I like, you know what I'm saying, in there you use words like expressive, you know what I'm saying? We know music is like an art, you know what I'm saying? You do poetry as well. So, you know what I'm saying? when thinking about music, you know what I'm saying, the impact that it's had just on your life, how have you been able to use music, you know what I'm saying, to share your story, you know what I'm saying, express your pain, express your struggle, or just use it as just like an expressive art form to, you know what I'm saying, kind of connect and resonate with people?
Yeah. I think, yeah, and Phase kind of called it out for me. I I used to look at it as like a negative thing for myself. I'm not good at like telling fairy tales that's not resonant, like relevant for me. Like I can't make up the raps that I'm saying and it'd be something that's just like not who I am. Like I only really know how to rap about my actual story or about the people that the stories I know really, really intimately. So for me, that's how it's been from the very first song I ever dropped. It's been about, hey, this is my story in how I'm viewing the world or my people's story. So yeah, I mean, for me, that's how I'm able to express it. Now that I've been doing therapy and stuff like that, I see that it's also taking the place of football a little bit, where I was expressing myself in football from the anger and things like that. I was I was trying to hit people.
He's knocking dudes' heads off.
You know
Come
what I
on
mean?
now.
So even that, I'm able to capture
Jack.
that in music now, which is it's something I had to realize like in hindsight. But it allows me to, I say that to say it allows me to express the kind of full range of emotions, which is really hard to have space to do, especially as Black men. So
I'm about to say, yeah, very important as Black men, you know what I'm saying, for sure. I was hoping you were going to say that because a lot of us don't know how to express that. A lot of us don't feel comfortable doing it, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of us look for a lot of that expressive nature of that in music, you know what I'm saying? Like I know for a long time, I swear Drake was speaking to me. I said that before. Drake, a lot of songs Drake dropped, I was like, he wrote this one for me because he knew what I was going through. But, you know what I'm saying? It's just the fact of the ability to be able to connect and resonate, you know what I'm saying, with somebody in their spirit. You know what I'm saying? Or just let the music move you. Like you can get really lost in that. You can really find yourself in music. You can pull yourself out of, you know what I'm saying, rough places with music. So music is definitely a very impactful thing, you know what I'm saying? So
I think it's cool too with like what you were saying is like when you make music, it's very hard to tell a fairy tale. But I want you to speak to that a little bit, just like the state of music in itself, right? Because you say, okay, I can't tell a fairy tale, I can only really rap about myself, but you're in a like field where a lot of people are rapping fairy tales, and fairy tales are what is selling. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's like I'm going to give you this fairy tale because I know y'all love to hear about the guns, the money, the things that I don't have. But it's like, okay, I see it, I wrap around it, I'm around it, so I'm able to just try to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's interesting because I think for me, I'm the way that I just said, right? I rap, I look at it as reality rap, like right. I'm rapping that I believe. I do think there's room for escapism in music, which is what I see a lot of that as. It's like, hey, I'm giving you a fantasy to escape to, and that
I
I'm
like
using
that.
to escape, right?
I
Like
like
I
that.
think there's room for that, and that's why I'm like, I'm not gonna knock somebody for doing that. That's not my style and what I feel like my purpose with the music is. I think in terms of that being kind of like what's selling and things like that, I think that's starting to shift a little bit, if I'm being honest, right? When you look at people like La Russell, when you look at, I mean, the Clips album that they just dropped and how now people are coming back and talking about the Clips in a different way. Even when you look at, you know, obviously people talk about the Kendrick Drake stuff, Kendrick and how he like is now getting a whole new set of fans, right? Kendrick been rapping, but now it's people who are like, oh my God, have you heard of Kendrick Lamar? I think there's always in hip hop, at least if you really look at the history, there's been like room for both sides. I think the thing that I've been focusing more and more on, and what I've been focusing on this next project too, is like, okay, if I have a certain perspective and I know that Phase also would appreciate this perspective, or Eman, like he said, with Stereotype also can really resonate with that.
Right.
I know there's at least 100 other people that could resonate with it. It's on me to get it out there enough times for it to resonate with those folks. So I think for me, it's just been focused on like, you know, it is like football in a sense of, hey, you get enough reps. Just like I was calling all them coaches, I got to be able to, you know, give myself enough chances to get lucky and to get, you know,
one thing I like that you're saying right there is basically, because it almost sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're staying true to yourself for one, which is extremely important, especially when it comes to the music industry, not getting lost in a persona and or, you know what I'm saying, a make believe. But the beautiful thing about staying true to yourself is it sounds like you're doing it more for yourself. Like you putting out the music for you because you know if I'm going through this, there's other people in the world that's going through this, and just because I'm not giving the people the pretend mainstream, storytelling rap that they want to hear, I can still stay true to myself and get some real genuine yet loyal fans.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? It's like that. Like really, when I hear your music, you know what I'm saying, it reminds me of a sense of like a J. Cole type vibe. You know what I'm saying? It gives you the essence of the blast. You know what I'm saying? Or BLXT, you know what I'm saying? It gives you some of that 6 like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like vibe, it's melodic, you know what I'm saying? You can really groove and get smooth to it. But I'm more than certain that if you really wanted to jump in that bag and get an up tempo beat and really go crazy, you could do that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you probably got music like that. I ain't always tapping to your album, but I'm locked in.
No,
You know
for
what I'm
sure,
saying?
for sure.
But you know what I'm saying? Just to that point, like me and Phaz have talked about that plenty of times. Not letting, you know what I'm saying, like you can get so lost in, oh, I'm trying to go viral, or you know what I'm saying, you can get lost in, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to make it big, and you trying to find out that it, and then you don't find it, so now you lose a passion for it, or you know, that lack of love. But when you just stay true to it, we can't control what does great. We can't control what goes viral. All we can do is control our passion for it, the love we have for it, and just put it out there. I love doing this, so I'm gonna just put it out there. And you know what I'm saying? And if it resonates with somebody or if it takes off, glory to God, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if I wasn't doing what I love doing, then why do it at all? You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you'll get burnt out or you lose yourself or lose your identity. So I'm glad that your music has, you know what I'm saying, allowed you to stay true to, you know what I'm saying, your real emotions and allowed it to be an expressive art form for you. Whether, you know what I'm saying, you get a song that does 1 million views or you got a song that does 5 views, you know what I'm saying? It don't change for you. You still stay in your course.
100%.
And I think there's like a duality thing that like I feel like I struggled with, and I know we had that conversation about it too, right? It's like you can be when you are an artist, right? You're literally an artist. And I even thought about this for myself, right? I thought about, okay, I want to make music, I enjoy making music, but am I going to put all this effort into music and not make any money? And I'm not making any money right now, right? Like, and there's this duality of that. But it's like if you're actually an artist, like a lot of artists can make a body of work and it'll never become famous or become famous when they're dead. Like talking Vincent Van Gogh, like we're talking art, you know what I mean? Like it will not argue. I think if you are okay with that, you have to truly love what it is that you're doing and continuing to create them bodies of work, even like he was saying, if it doesn't go viral right now, or if it doesn't do this right now, and I could see like regardless of the virality of it, you are just still staying true to yourself and creating music that is growing with you. And I think that's the beautiful thing of it. But I think there also is the other side where it's like we talked about this earlier. In order for it to have a chance at going viral, I need to work. I got to get in my Mamba mentality and I got to get enough touches just so I can get the opportunity to kiss the virality. So for them to see it, for that one thing to blow up. You know what I mean? So I think that's a very interesting thing I think about a lot.
Nah, for sure. And I think what both of y'all said, I said y'all spoke about that beautifully. I think something I've been trying to embrace is this idea of amateurism when it comes to it. And me and Tashai talk about it a lot, but it's like think about football, right? Like until now, but I know when we were in college, you weren't getting paid to play, right? We didn't have NIL and stuff like that. So especially if you look at high school, especially middle school, going on down, all of that is amateur. You're playing really for the love of the game and with the idea that you can potentially become professional at it. But you only, as you know, we didn't all seen people go into college, and if you're not really locked in on football, you're not gonna keep playing, especially Division I football. You're gonna be you just gonna
Division 3. You can get
exactly. You're just gonna stop. So it's like at the end of the day, I've been trying to embrace this idea of amateurism because being an artist, it's like being an athlete in my mind, where it's like an athlete is who you are, not the job that you actually do in my mind. Whereas being an artist, to your point, you mentioned kind of it's who you actually are. So it's like if I'm an artist myself and I have this time right now where I still have the utmost confidence. Like I still don't think there's anybody who can like mess with me on any record, period. Right. No rapper, especially. Like that's how I think. That's how I approach it. That's how I'm always
get that crazy.
Like, come on. But at the same time, I understand that God is giving me this space right now where I'm able to put out these projects, experiment without the pressure of the next person being like, a fan being like, oh, I wanted it to sound like the last thing, or I wanted it to be like this. I understand that. I get to experiment and fine tune so that by the time it is out to the people, like, you know, let's say I'm known like I know I will be and things like that. You know, I've got in my 10,000 hours or a lot more of my 10,000 hours, which I think that's the like pro and con of like the virality today. You can either go up and you only did this your first song, you know, or you
yeah, exactly.
and it's not. And like being prepared and also having experience in life. I think when I think of myself as an artist today, I've never heard a hip hop artist have the experience that I've had where I've went and played Division I football. I've, you know, to your point, you mentioned Cornell, the Ivy League stuff, also really from where I'm from, you know what I mean? So can resonate with those people. Also did the super corporate stuff, has done a startup now. I've done AI stuff. Like I have now a wealth of experience to where I use this concrete rose analogy, whereas like when you're a concrete rose, you're not really accepted on the concrete because people are like, it's a rose, you know what I mean? Some people are weeds, some people are whatever, but you also not typically accepted in the garden because they're like, nah, we can see the concrete still on you, you know what I mean? But I think there's a lot of concrete roses out there, and if you can, if I can speak to that, you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of opportunity and there's a lot of people that'll resonate. So I said a lot to say a little there, but yeah.
I got another question for you that, you know what I'm saying? I love how the questions just come in as you talk, because it's like the way you're speaking, it's like I'm curious. And I have two questions actually. First question I want to ask you is, because this reflecting back on conversations that we've had on the pod, platform. Platform is essential. You know what I'm saying? Your platform, you know what I'm saying, your fan base. How important do you think it is for you, you know what I'm saying, as somebody who's developing their platform, you know what I'm saying, to share your message, you know what I'm saying, across the, or the things that you believe in when it comes to just like beliefs, spiritualities and things of that sort?
Yeah, I think it's super important. It's super, super important, because if not, right, let's just look at if none of us share, you know, y'all have this platform here, if I have my platform, none of us share what we actually believe. That's how we uphold the stuff that Phaz kind of mentioned in the beginning. People not necessarily, you know, I say reality rap, let's say fantasy, that idea of a fantasy being the only thing that works and all of these different things, and you having to be a certain type of way in Hollywood or in, you know, the music industry. That's how those things are upheld when we don't speak and stand on, you know, our actual principles and whatever it happens to be. So I think it's like super important. And another reason why I like to say I don't waste bars in a song. Like there's no song you're gonna listen to where that bar didn't either build on something else or, you know, couldn't stand alone, and you can have a Socratic seminar about it. Is how I think about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's super important to like say something and like mean it when you say it. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And then my second question for you would have been, being in the being in the music industry now, trying to be embodied by that. What's something that's like shocking, something that's surprising, you know what I'm saying, or just like something you found like your ultimate challenges with where you're trying to go?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, because that's something that not often talked about, especially when you're like working and doing it. I think it's different if that's the only thing you're focusing all of your time on. Shout out to everybody who is in a position to do that. I think the thing that's been surprising and challenging for me is this idea of like, how would I say? You hear people say like, oh, it's kind of who you know, not what you know, or like talent is and everything. It's really about the relationships. Like that is very real. Like that is like really a real thing, right? And I think the reason it's so shocking to me, the concept isn't shocking, but being an athlete, a football player, it was like, yeah, they could do the politics for so long, but if I make it undeniable that I'm better than him, at some point you're gonna have to give me a shot, and I'm gonna be able to show it. And that's not necessarily how art works. That's not necessarily how business works. Even me being in the business world, it is very relationship driven and things like that. And I think I'm just now starting to be in a space to where I was really stubborn, if I'm being honest. I was like,
no, I'm the best.
They're gonna hear it and they're gonna know. And it's like
undeniable's coming. Don't worry about
it. But maybe they don't hear it. You know what I mean? So it's like I have to put myself in those positions to be around the people to where, you know, I have to, you know, build community. And That's all it is. So
I think it's an interesting thing to say because I remember like it was in one of Drake's songs actually, and he was saying I don't remember the actual bar, but he was basically saying he was in the car with this girl and he played his song.
yeah.
And if you know it, tell me. But he was in the car with the girl and he played the song, and she's like, "Who is that?" He's like, "Oh, that's me." She's like, "Oh, okay. Can
Oh,
you
I
put
know.
some Usher? Can you put some
Yeah,
what's it called? Put some Usher or put some was it
yeah,
Chris back
and,
on or something like that?" But I
yeah.
think it's one of those things like you don't even know you sitting with the greatest right now, and I think it's such a weird concept that you don't like E was saying, like you can't really control what goes viral because you could have a hit song, but just because nobody knows you yet, or just because like I know you personally and you're not Drake or you're not somebody like people listen to it different.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to be everybody's already on it. Like, oh yeah, you heard that. Now everybody's talking about now you'll catch on to the wave. I feel like that's a weird concept when it comes to music that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even business like products,
Yeah.
e-commerce, things like that where it's like you have to have some sort of community behind it that spreads it. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
saying that to say, like, as far as being an independent artist, you brought up LaRussell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that somebody you look up to as far as like the way he moves as an artist?
I definitely look at his example, and I think it's very admirable in the sense of, oh man, he found his way to cut through, and he's standing on it. He's giving the game away as well, right? Because people like to say, games would be sold, not told. He's telling it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think, yeah, I definitely look at like people like LaRussell, but also like I am a student of the game. Like, you know what I mean? I'm even me staying in the South Bronx right now. When I get up in the morning, I'm walking through and being like, dog, like hip hop started right here. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
different type
Yeah.
of feeling. So it's like I do look at LaRussell in the way that his consistency and all of those things allow him to build his platform and not need a label or whatever happens to be. I think there's a kind of a long history of that though as well, of people that I kind of look at and I'm able to look at and say, okay, if I can combine what LaRussell's doing with what a Master P did, right, with No Limit, which to me is one of the probably
Nipsey Hussle in that
a
thing.
Nipsey Hussle, a Marathon, you know what I mean? It's a whole lot of different examples that you could look at and say, okay, this is one first and foremost possible, which I think again, I'm always going to bring it back to Black people in general. I think when Black people believe something is first possible, we can pretty much achieve it. The challenge is continuing to believe that thing is possible, continuing to have the hope,
I like that.
continue to have the faith. Like that's the actual challenge. So that's what I'm often focused on is like, okay, you got to keep believing that. You know what I mean?
My bad. Okay.
Good.
You were speaking on that one for a second. I had to say that. I think one thing too, right, that I wanted to bring up that you were saying, like, I know you have a new project coming up, a new project coming out soon that
Yeah.
you've been working on, but you have already, like, for all the people that are watching this or that see this, you have a bunch of other projects that you've already worked on that are already out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What does it look like as far as like an independent artist? Like, take me through one project, like the actual creation. I don't need to go into like every little thing, but like as an independent artist, you are having to do like we talked about earlier, the marketing side. Like you having to create some sort of strategy to roll out the actual project. You have to create the cover art. Then, but before that, you got to create the music. It has to be a story behind it. There has to be a lot. So, kind of, what does that look like for you, and what surprises or things have you learned about yourself and the music industry from creating that?
Man. Yeah, I mean, to Phaz's point, I have 4 or 5 projects that I've put out now that are like either on streaming services. One mixtape that's No Box, that was like the No Ceilings version, my version of No Ceilings, stuff like that. I think in terms of what I've learned about myself and in the industry, I think one, I've learned I'm a lot more resilient than I would have even thought. And I'm the Phase, you know me, I'm already confident and be like, yeah, I'm resilient. Like, more resilient than I thought, in a sense of where I'm able to continue to come back to it. Because we, the saying of like, hey, we overestimate what we can do in 2 years, but underestimate what we can do in 10 years. That's definitely true. Let's say 2 months to 10 months. I learned that in real life, where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna drop. It was 1 year, I think 2023. I'm gonna drop 6 projects this year. I'm gonna drop it every 2 months, and then it's gonna be this. And then you realize, oh, but I gotta go to work. and I'm working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. These are not like 9 to 5 necessarily. I'm working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., getting off work, spending 2-3 hours recording and editing, and then doing it again so that a project can actually be made. So I said that to say I learned about one being a grown up and like that, but also that there's some resilience that you learn behind that, because to put a project together from start to finish, it takes a good amount of focus and that belief that we talked about, that there's something behind this. I'm not just recording songs and they're just gonna go out into the ether. There's something I'm a package together. And how I've always put out my projects, or I always think these are like time capsules. So I know, by the time, whenever that hits, whether this next project or the project after that, this is things that you can become a fan of Jelani, by going back to listening to. And for me, I'm showing you this mic right here. This is the mic I recorded a couple of the projects on, but I started with a Rode microphone. I started with using Audacity, where I couldn't even hear myself when I was rapping. You know what I mean? I'm rapping and I can only hear the beat. I don't even know how I sound. So like, from making Black Boy like that to now upgrade my systems and all of these different things and investing in myself really is what it is. It's been, a marathon, not a sprint, for sure. So
it takes you back to the beginning. We've been saying it. You don't need the nicest things or all the fly ass equipment to get started. Just get started. If you got a dream, if you got a passion, if you're dedicated to something, just get started. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that looks like for you, sit down, write it down, figure out what is the bare minimum you need to get going. And even if you don't got the bare minimum, you need to keep going. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then it'll come to you. Over time, you will start to acquire, equipment. You'll start to acquire, people who want to help, resources, networking. So, but if you never start, you're just that far behind. You're only one step closer.
Because there's no way to get to 100% right away. Because I think what a lot of people think is like, okay, I'm gonna wait for the perfect timing, for the perfect situation. Regardless, if you start with all the best equipment or the minimal amount of equipment, you're still gonna have to learn, and you're still gonna make mistakes, and you're still gonna do. So you might as well start right here, get through the mistakes. And by the time you got the good stuff, you already
good stuff to be trash.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of people. I love that you highlighted that, because it's like, and I think even being willing to ask the people close to you to invest in you. Like for me, my first interface and microphone was bought by my now fiance Tashaya, then my mama, like as for my birthday. It was like, oh, okay, like they bought that. It was the most basic thing that you can have. I had the most basic software, but as I've continued to invest in myself now as well, and have other people invest in me, if I never started, I wouldn't have got to the point to where, now I'm 4 or 5 projects in. I'm having this conversation with y'all. Can put like, nah, I'm an artist. You know what I mean? I think it's similar. And I was telling you, Phaz, but I'd say you too, Eman. This is I'm hella inspired by the 30-day challenge, because I'm seeing like the consistency and y'all really locked in, and you can see the growth behind it. You know what I mean? But like I think there's a statistic that like 85 or 90% of podcasts don't make it past episode 7 or something like that.
So you wait till 100.
Come on, y'all almost 100. It's like, come on, inspiring. And if you didn't do one, you can't get to 10. You said it's like 59 or something like that, Phase. Like, you don't get to those,
Yeah, and I think it's crazy. Like a great point that we talked about earlier today. A great point is that.
Hold on, pause right there.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep your thought.
Go ahead. I got it.
Because you blew up the balloons. The balloons look good in the back.
I went and got some new balloons.
I'm like,
Solo me out.
I know.
You know we have to get the new balloons. Hello.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, we back. I got
30 days, man.
I got re-energized for the rest of the
30 days strong. Day 17. We got Jelani on the pod. The best rappers in the world. Y'all go get his old stuff. He got some new stuff coming. We going hard, man.
Come on.
Days, man.
I know the new balloons just re-energized the whole pod.
I'm telling you. I had to get right.
We got new life.
Yeah, come on. And I remember it's good. That was a good point. Dang, I might have lost it. Wait, I got it. I got it. So what were we talking about?
we was talking
I don't tell
about.
me y'all lost it too. Y'all can't lose it too. I
I
know
was
you.
really
He
trying
was
to say, like,
No.
talking about equipment. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? You
yes. Okay.
start.
Well, no,
Yes,
yes. So I got it. You can bring me backstage manager, please. Thank you. Um, I think an amazing thing that I want you to dive deeper into, that point that we are just talking about, right? Football player to a rapper, I'm the stereotype, right?
Mhm.
That was a bar in one of your songs. The beginning stage, we're talking about start. We're telling people start. Somebody in the comments said, why wait? Just start, right?
Yeah.
So if we're telling people just to start, I want to go through that point in time where you went from football player,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going hard, I'm about to be in the NFL, to rapper and doing this and actually putting that first song out or that first project out. What was that feeling? Because I know we talked about it all the time, but it's like a, yeah, the people gonna think I'm kind of weird or like,
Mhm.
but you literally rapped the feeling that you were having, like, yeah, okay, I'm a football player and like I'm start
Yeah.
rapping, and are people gonna like it? They see my football content, they see all this, but I really want to dive deep into that point because we talked about it. But I think there's something there that a lot of people could learn from.
Yeah, man. It was yeah, it was definitely a lot of anxiety. To you spend at that point what 21 years creating this identity for yourself where so many people knew me as, oh, that's Jelani, the football player. A lot of the things you highlighted at the beginning, right? Oh, Campbell Trophy finalist, like, oh, we know you smart, whatever. But like really football player, really dedicated all of these different things into what it feels like is have a part of your identity like die and to rebirth something else is a scary feeling.
Mhm.
But for me, it was like, okay, at the end of the day, you got to try to be true to yourself. And I really believe in like following signs from God. Um,
Mhm.
and for me, that I feel like God doesn't make mistakes. Like I'm never
Mm.
about to be like, oh God, man, see, he didn't messed up. Like, who am I?
right.
You know what I mean? Who am I? So it's like for me, it's
Mhm.
just giving like, okay, God gave me this. God is pushing me. Like God wouldn't make this feel this way when I'm creating. He wouldn't make it feel this good if this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. So for me, it was just being led in that way and not being prideful and being like, nah, you still want me to play football. It's me listening and then working in that way. So I think that's
Yeah.
what allowed me to kind of overcome it. I will say I still to this day I go back to the crib sometimes. There's people who like, man, you still play, like you gonna try out next year. You know what I mean? I get a lot of those. But ultimately, like I'm in a really good place where I'm at because I know the purpose. You know what I mean? I know the
Mhm.
purpose is still there, in general. So
Mhm.
I used to always say, God did not bring me this far just to bring me this far. You know what I'm
come
saying?
on.
So it's a lot more life. It's a lot more story. You know what I'm saying? Aside, like I've been telling Phase that for a little minute. Like I now realize I'm more than football. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, football is like all I knew. That's all I figured I wanted to do. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm venturing out and I'm like, man, I can't wait to see what else I'm capable of because I know I'm just that talented. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know how blessed I am, how fortunate I am. You know what I'm saying? Like to like I'm taking on new projects. Like I'm playing the piano. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Trying
I
to
heard
figure out
that.
how to get that. Because again, I feel like I was saying, like me and FaZe talked about the other day when it came to family and just laughter and love. But I feel like
Mhm.
music is one thing that you just can't. It's not. You can't show me one person in this world that don't like or resonate with music, even if they deaf. I'm even
Mm.
saying that because deaf people they feel that
Feel
vibration.
vibrations.
You know what I'm saying?
Feel
So
vibrations. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So it's like because even the most craziest demonic people like they need kind of music.
Yeah.
There's music out there for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like that's something that you're in the lane or in the field that will always be desired just because people want something of what you're trying to, you know what I'm saying, provide. And it's like however you know what I'm saying, gotta deliver it, it's gonna be delivered. So I very much love the conversation and what you're sharing about your story, how you came into the music, you know what I'm saying. But now I'm more curious as to where you're going with this, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What's next? What's new? What's the legacy look like for
Yeah.
Jelani when people look back? Because like you said, you're leaving these time capsules. So 20, 30 years from now, when your first projects now are ancient history, what do you want them to be able to speak for, you know what I'm saying, your legacy?
Yeah. Oh man, it's a great one. I'd say ultimately, I always think about the little kid version of myself. So like Lil Lonnie, like what would Lil Lonnie say, or what would I want Lil Lonnie to be able to look at 50-year-old, let's say Lonnie, so like 20 some years from now. Um, ultimately, I want that little kid to one say, hey, that's somebody who showed that no, I can do it all. Because I think that's something that I'm really passionate about. Like, I'm going to be a founder alongside of being an artist at the high level, alongside, you know, being able to do these things from an investment standpoint and all these different things. So I first and foremost want to get that out there, especially the little like black kids to be able to see, you know what I mean? But ultimately, when you just look at the music itself, I want people to be able to see one, the genius in it. Because I feel like there's a part of you that has to feel that type of way to continue to create. So I want people to appreciate it for that, but also Nina Simone has a quote I like a lot where she says, as an artist, it's our duty to reflect the times that we're in. I want them to be able to look at the visuals, listen to the music, and understand what it was like to be 2025 and be 27 and live in this way and be dealing with these different thoughts and emotions, because a lot of my music touches on duality, right? The different choices and the thoughts in that way. And for them to also understand, whether that's, let's say, 2045 now, that those emotions, those thoughts are actually universal, right? So it reflected that time, but it's also something that's timeless and that I can, you know, engage with and feel today. So
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's dope. I think that's dope, man. What I want to do too, I got a ton of questions, but I think what I want to do is I want to talk about like the initial projects, because I know you have multiple projects before. I want you to start from the first project, and there's no ranking or anything there, but I want to just go through and kind of talk about them, like just shortly, because I have
yeah.
questions about like different projects and stuff, but just so also the people that see this, they know, okay, go back to this project. This is what you can expect from this project.
Yeah, I'm gonna start at the beginning because that's
Yeah.
good. So my first project, Black Boy, was dropped August 2020.
Mhm.
So that was fresh off of exactly what we talked about, right? It was COVID, you know, it was Black Lives Matter going on. It was a lot of the
Mhm.
different things. So that Nina Simone quote really rang true through that project, right? It was
Mhm.
viewing it, even if you look at the cover, it's me as a little black boy, right? So it's speaking from my perspective, me realizing that, oh, I can have a voice and speak about something, right? It's kind of how I always think back to Black Boy. That's also when I like to say, like, I definitely, the bars are there, but in terms of me crafting a flow and feeling confident in rapping, that's something that I look back to Black Boy like, oh, wow, I can see that I've come a long way. You know what I mean? So that's started with Black Boy, then into a thought and a half. That's the time where I was at McKinsey working, doing the consulting stuff. And that
Mhm.
I was living in Seattle when I made a thought and a half, which I never thought I was gonna live in Seattle, right? This
Mhm.
no idea. And I think in terms of like the concept, when I listen to it, is me realizing that, oh, my one thought can literally make people have a thought and a half, or somebody hearing my thoughts can make them like think differently, act differently. So that's also part of like the title of it, right? This idea of a
Mhm.
thought and a half, like, okay, it can have kind of interest on it in that way as well. Then you go into No Box. That's when I left McKinsey, just focused on music. I was very much in hey man, we're often confined. You know what I mean? I said in a song recently, like they fit us in 9x5 and send you off to get your paper writing line by line, right by you. It's like that idea of these 9x5s, they tell us, or these, you know, 9 to 5s, they tell us this is what we have to do. It's this box that they're putting
Man, that's a
us
dope
in.
concept. I like how you did that.
Come on, come on. They telling us this is box that we're supposed to be in, but at the end of the day, like I don't think that God made us to be in a box at all. I don't think that we're
Mhm.
supposed to be in these structures. So it's me reflecting on that. You know, I use Boondock samples throughout. I'm rapping on like other people beats. Obviously, that's like my no ceilings type of era.
Mhm.
And then going into Carpe Diem and Life's a Bar, I think they're very related. Carpe
Mhm.
Diem, meaning seize the day. Life's a Bar is all about, hey, the life is really just that dash between the two dates, the day we were born and the day we
That's
died. It's
nice.
all about being present and realizing like, oh man, I only got this time to do something with. So let me do something. You know what I mean? A
Mhm.
lot of
Yeah.
what y'all are saying, like let me start that thing that I want to do. Let me do these different things and my reflections on that. So I think that was, you know, that's at least my 30-second. Maybe I went over 30
Yeah.
seconds on
Now you
that.
do
No,
your
no.
thing.
Yeah, you know, the next project is the next project. obviously my next project's always my favorite one. That's how I think. So if you ask me what's my favorite project, it's
Yeah.
always gonna be the
It's the
last one
next
I release.
one. Come on now.
Always gonna
Yeah.
be the last one I
That's what
release
Tom Brady
until
said. What's my
the next one
favorite
come out.
championship?
Come
The
on,
next one.
the next one. That's
Come
really
on.
it. So
Yeah.
I think for the next one, it really does touch on, I think, something that we all experience in different ways. And it's me, I feel like, also as an artist figuring out a lot of the different things. So me figuring out that, like, oh, even though I'm comfortable on these beats and people may be used to me on these beats, I know I can rap on these beats, and I may need to rap on these beats to get to the people that I need to get to. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm excited about the
I'm
next
telling
one.
somebody that a lot of times it's the beat that be have me there.
I'm saying.
I might catch the words with the beat. I'm like,
And if they gotta catch the words the third time around, hey, at least they didn't. Now, by the time they catch it, that's the thing that I focus on in song creating. It's like you start off, or I started off, oh, I just want to rap good, and I just want people to hear it and be like, oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
Now I'm to a point where it's like I want people to first and foremost hear it, and then if you happen to catch it off of that, I think that's just gonna make you like it more. So
Yeah, and I think I don't know who it was. I'm struggling to forget. I remember, but I think one thing that is cool about you, right? And I think because it's funny because at Cornell we're all rapping, like we're freestyling. We're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna make this music, make this project, and then you were the one that like, okay, you really took it seriously and you really did it, right? I think it's so cool because when people, I feel like God opens up the world to some people to go and do that thing. So a lot of times we know as humans what we're supposed to be doing. It's just we need to take that leap, right? And I feel like for me, that thing that is easier for you, or that thing that you do well, kind of better than other people, or it just kind of comes easy to you, it's more natural to you. That is the thing a lot of times that you're probably supposed to be doing. And I feel like for me, like I'm just thinking about music. Like, of course, I want to make music. I'm probably gonna make music. You know, what I mean? I'm gonna continue to. I think I'm pretty good at making music, and I love my music. You know, I think I'm the
right,
best.
you
You know what I
should,
mean?
yeah.
But at the same time, I always struggled with as I was writing music, trying to conform or trying to see what other people want to hear. I'm like, okay, what's viral now? Okay, let me try this New York Jersey. Let me try this Jersey beat. Okay, let me try this trap beat. Let me try this 808. You know, I'm kind of type beat. But you stuck to who you are. You stuck to that and you kind of had no sway. You're like, okay, this is my story. I'm just gonna rap me. This is my flow. Of course, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna try my different flows. I'm gonna try to experiment, but this is still all me. And that's one thing, like I'm so inspired by that because I feel like that's me with football. That's me with podcasting. That's me with a lot of things that are the things that I do. I'm just gonna go all in and attack that. You know what I mean? So I think that's very inspirational to see you do that, bro.
That's a dope point, Phase. Like, especially too, you know what I'm saying, just thinking about my DJ journey. I think when I first got on scene, I was so hot because basically why I got into DJing because I used to go to parties and I'm like, man, they trash. Like
Right.
they're not mixing, they're not reading the crowd. And I think that was the biggest thing that kind of blew me up, you know what I'm saying, for the extended period when I was doing things like I could basically put myself in the crowd and be like, damn, this is where the energy of the crowd is at. This is how it moves, you know what I'm saying, like that. So, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a competitive field in the music industry, you know what I'm saying? But and I honestly, if I'm being honest, I lost the love of DJing for a little while because I was just like, man, like I love music, but I'm not trying to keep up with what everybody else want to hear. And that I lost sight of, you know what I'm saying, what my realm was, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think the beautiful thing about being an artist is you can stay true to you, but the thing about being a producer or pushing the art, I gotta conform to, you know what I'm saying, so many different societal narratives and views, and you be able to, you know what I'm saying, give the people what they want. You don't, you know what I'm saying, you don't really have to give the people what they want, but you do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's tricky,
You
you know what
gotta
I'm saying,
feed the
connect yourself.
beast.
You know what I'm saying? It's like what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna battle with the beast, you know what I'm saying? And am I just gonna do me? Because I mean at some point in time you do, I feel like at some point in time I feel like you do have to eventually, okay, without reshaping my style and what I sound like. I want to grow. How do I give the people what they want, but still stay true to myself? Is that a question to battle with?
100%, man. That's something that I think about. I battle with. Fortunately, Tashaya, my fiance, she has an amazing sense of the culture, the zeitgeist, what's present, especially compared to me, because I'm very much like Missy Elliott and Timberland got this video where they talk about how when they were creating,
that's a good two right there.
come on,
Talk
when
about
they were
culture.
making when they stuff, right? They made their Missy first album, solo album. They weren't listening to anything. Like they were literally in the studio and they purposely didn't listen to anything, and that's why it sounded so different. Like I kind of just operate in that same way, but you need, to your point, you need to have some sense of okay, what's going on in the world to be able to make sure that it connects. And for me, what I realize is, oh, that doesn't necessarily mean I need to change the way that I create the art, but maybe in the way in which I'm putting it out, maybe in the way in which it's visuals or all these other things. Like, and that's where you have to like drop your ego and what comes back.
All right, I'm gonna meet y'all halfway a little bit. Like
you gotta be open to know. Like I know that I don't know everything. One thing that I know that I'm always be like, nah, I feel really good about this, and I'm gonna try is the music itself. But when it comes to packaging it and all of these different things, that's where building a team and have a community, all of these different things come into play. So like for me, that's what I'm trying to use to be able to, you know, get over that part for myself. Because that's, to be honest, when we look at all these other projects, I'll have the intention to drop the stuff, and then I'll be like, man, I ain't trying to do what everybody else is doing right now. So then it's not being optimized. So it's something I definitely deal with.
You know what I challenge you with? The way you sound, this is just my personal take real quick. But I don't know, you can take this, you maybe try it out, whatever. I'm gonna leave with this, but the way I heard like some of your music and the way just you talking, something crazy original that I, you know what I'm saying, if you open to it, maybe I'll hit you up and let you. Like Afro beats is hella hard right now, but if you could bridge the gap between like an Afro beat and like if we could figure out what this sounds like, I feel like it'd be hella original but hella fire, like an Afro beat, but yet like one of them older like kind of smooth melodic beats, like almost got like a Bob Marley sense to it, but Afro, but yeah, you know what I'm saying, kind of like the like 90s, 80s feel. Like I don't know, I can hear it in my head right now, and I can hear you on it, and I'm like, man, that shit would go crazy. I'm gonna have to capture like what I'm really. But I'm like, if I can figure out what this beat sounds like, I'm gonna send it to you one day. I think that's my challenge for myself and you.
Yeah, please
You
do.
have to rip that
That'll
joint
be
though.
fire.
Like I get it,
You
like
ain't gotta
it
worry.
sounds crazy. It got
you.
like the instruments of like the Afro African beat, but yet like a bing ding 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 ding, like one of them joints. But I would go crazy.
Send it
You're
over.
gonna have to cook.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to
on
cook.
a funner lighter note, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit you, you know what I'm saying, some questions, hot take questions, you know what I'm saying, to kind of see what your take on these answers would be. But I start off very simple. Who do you feel like, or what do you feel like your rap style is like if you could compare your style to any rapper right now?
Any current rapper? Yeah, man, that's
or
good.
old school rapper. Shoot, come on.
Yeah, no. I mean, for me, I can say when I listen to these people, I feel like I resonate a lot. It's probably three people that I put together. Definitely J. Cole, you mentioned, just from like a relatability, realness standpoint. Definitely Kendrick from like an artfulness standpoint. Like, I think he makes really high art. And then for me personally, it's Andre 3000, just because I listen to it and it's different. It's different.
One of my favorites.
So
his creativity, his flow, his wordplay, his bars, Andre's cold.
It's different.
Now, since we own that, then my next question would be, if there's a project like from other artists, who would you like to feature with? Is there a project you was like, dang, I would have loved to have been on that?
Your dream collab?
Yeah.
Dead or alive?
Man. Dead or alive? That is actually.
I give you two.
Yeah. I'll do a. Nah, I know the one and two. Yeah, first and foremost is Lauryn Hill. If I could be on the Miseducation Miss Lauryn Hill, I could stop rapping. If I'm being real, that's a different level. Probably best album all the time for me. So I think Lauryn Hill, and then number two, I'll say somebody current now, just so it can, you know what I mean. Somebody I can actually do it. I'd love to make a song, and this was like different, but I'd love to make a song with Smino. I think his sound is very, very different.
Very
and
unique.
It wouldn't be like any conflicting like type of sound. I feel like it would be something that's really cool. So that's the person I take from today that I'm like, oh no, that would be good.
Yeah. Wow. I like that.
tap into like your GQ bag real quick.
Mm.
What's personal items, you know what I'm saying? Like I say your 3 personal items that you have with you, whether it helps inspire you or you know what I'm saying, just like I gotta make sure I had this, you know what I'm saying? This is a must.
Yeah. I really enjoy having some type of chain on.
Come on now.
That's just me. Definitely some type of chain. I think what's something else I need to have with me? I Let's just say from like today, I'd say some like nice shoes, but some ones,
Come on
ideally, if I
now.
got some ones on.
Gotta
And
keep it
I
classy.
feel like I'm picturing I'm in the studio, right? I'm in that Smino session,
Oh
right?
yeah,
I
perfect.
got the chain on, I got the ones on. And then for me, it's just like I really enjoy really nice materials. So I probably say I got a friend Kalechi, she got a brand called Coat, and she got
Shout them
some
out.
pieces to where I'm like Coat with a K. I got a song called
Mm.
New Coat. It's about
Yeah.
that though, and then some Coat. I had that on, and it'd be good.
I bet. All right. Pre-studio ritual. Like, Lil Wayne used to have a
Yeah,
it's gonna go crazy when you hit a lighter.
yeah.
Is there anything you do when you get into that zone right before you throw the headphones on when you about to put it out there?
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie. Every time before I head in the studio in the first place, I pray. Mainly, I'm praying about just to like allow me to enter it without any like preconceived notions. Pretty much leave what I just had going on behind me as I go into the studio. I do believe in the whole like leave the door crack. Like I think Pharrell said, leave the door crack to let God in. That whole thing when I'm
That's
recording,
fire.
try to do that for sure. And then for
Mhm.
me, the only other thing is like I do push-ups when I be like in between takes because I do everything straight through. Like I don't really punch in at all. All of the songs you're listening to, I'm rapping the
Wow.
whole song straight through and then doing it again and then choosing the best things.
Wow.
So like that gives me sometimes I especially if it's late at night, I'm tired. Like that give me the energy I need for certain songs for me to sound the way I want to. So
Yeah. Why do you feel like you do that? Is that just like your style of doing that, or do you feel why do you do that?
the push-ups.
No, the like just going all the way through.
Oh yeah. So it's interesting. It actually started because for me, when I first started rapping, like I said, I couldn't hear myself when I rap. And
Mm,
my vocal control is still to this day is not exactly how I want it to be. So right now, how I sound could sound a little different than 9 a.m. It would just sound
uh-huh.
different than noon. So for me,
So if you
like
punching in, it's
if
gonna
I'm
be it could
punching
be
in, it sounds like
different.
I got 3 features. It
Yeah.
is how I be thinking, at least in my head. So I was
Yeah,
like, oh, if I
yeah.
rap all the way through, at least I know the voice sound good. It sound the
Okay,
same all the way
Jay.
through.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
kind
I
of
mean?
hard. That's hard.
Be him.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that's my hot take in saying
For
give it to you
sure.
like that, give it to you like that.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I think one of the things, because we're gonna wrap it up soon, but this has been an amazing interview. I know one thing we talked about as well is in the kind of like the 30 days, like we're in it, like we're in the grind every day, getting out, working out, mind, body, spirit, getting to it, putting stuff out there. For you, we just talked about that. You're about to release a project. So
Mm-hmm.
you've been in it, you've been in the grind, and we talked about that. And on top of working, on top of life, on top of
Mm-hmm.
all of these things, right? I want to ask you, just as a brother, do you feel happy? Do you feel fulfilled in that process in the journey? Because, and I say this because for me doing this 30 days, I'm posting every day. I'm posting these videos. I'm posting the workouts. And then the video, I'm gonna make another video this week that's gonna drop like later this weekend or next week, just
Mm-hmm.
about the midway point. It like
Yeah.
it wasn't, it's not easy. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't always feel the best. Like getting up to workout got a little bit harder. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I still did it, but it got a little harder. It was like lot of doubt, a lot of looking at the numbers, like, dang, we ain't doing this. So I want to ask you, just doing the process, going through everything, do you feel like are you fulfilled in where you're at right now?
Yeah. Oh man, that's such a good question. I'd say I'm fulfilled but not content.
Mm,
Um, I'm fulfilled in a sense to where every day I try to focus on, hey, what in today, could have made today great. You know what I mean? Like it's more of a perspective thing that allows me to say, oh, okay, I can walk away fulfilled, but I'm not content in a sense to where I'm not exactly where I want to be. You know what I mean? I think that's some of the like continuing to go and push forward, right? I think what you highlighted, Phaz, yeah, because y'all just passed that 15-day mark not too long ago. You know what I mean? So the halfway point, it gets tough. It's like the middle of the tunnel, they call it, right? Where dang, I can't see the light that just started, and I can't see the light at the end yet. So it's the toughest part. But the thing that I remind myself, and it's still my favorite quote to this day, it's a Jerry Rice quote where he say, "Today I'll do what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't." I just literally remind myself of that, of like, whatever you're doing today, that's why, you know, it's so that you can do these things that puts you in an uncommon territory tomorrow, or whatever tomorrow looks like. So that's how I'm able to keep going. But yeah, I say I'm fulfilled, like, generally.
Yeah, and I think it's so important what you just said too, because I think it's so important to be doing something that you are passionate about and something that you love, right? Because if you are working, like even for myself in different jobs that I've had or different jobs you've had, you know this too, is like you're working so hard, you're putting all this effort into something, but it's like this is not even something I enjoy. Like
At
you
all.
could put all this effort, you could be locked in and doing this thing, then you get to the other side and you're like I'm still not happy. Like I'm still not enjoying this. I'm still like I didn't get anything out of all this work that I put in. So, guys, I think we say this quote probably once every third episode, but it's like the Jim Carrey quoting when he was talking about his dad. He was like, his dad was probably one of the greatest comedians ever that he's ever known, but he quit comedy to go get a regular job, and then he ended up getting fired from the regular job. So he's like, why wouldn't you just keep doing the thing that you love? You know what I mean? Because you can't get fired from that if they gonna fire you from the regular job anyway. So I think that's such a powerful point to just do what you love and be passionate about what you're doing. Not saying don't have a job, but
Right.
do what you're passionate about doing. Put a lot of energy into that because at the end of the day, like you said, you're leaving time capsules. It might not be this time, this year. It might not be next year, but you're doing it. You're fulfilled in doing that. So I think that's why I asked you that question because I think that's so important. And then the last thing I was going to say as well is I know me and E were talking about it. It was a video with Wallow and Gilly when they were talking about collaboration. And even just having you on the pod gets me a little emotional too, because I was looking up something and we were on StreamYard when we did the podcast
No.
last time, and it just brought it all back to me. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. But he was talking about collaboration. He was talking about how a lot of people are doing some things individually. Like, okay, I'm gonna go get this. I'm gonna go be successful in this. Okay, you're gonna be successful. We're all working, working, working. Whether it's like, okay, I can do the podcast. Okay, Lonnie's over there doing the music. Okay, Leek's doing what he's doing. Mo's doing what he's doing. E's doing what he's doing. All these people are doing something, and I think I have that. You know what I mean? It's like I was thinking about that. I was like a little frustrated about that. I'm like, dang, we need to all work together. We need to bring this together. But I understand
Shit, we
how hard
can.
you're working. I understand how hard all of my bros are working to do it in their specific field. So I'm so excited and I'm so blessed to have you guys in my life because I know when we bring this back together and it's right there. Like,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
could
we
just
getting
I'm
feel it.
about
I
to
could
there.
say
taste it.
phase. You know what I'm
You
We
saying?
know what I
To
getting
your
mean?
there.
point.
It's right there. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say too before we get up off of this convo, to add on to what you're saying, because we right there, but we got to start, you know what I'm saying, speaking into this because it's gonna happen. First and foremost, just to the point y'all was making earlier, you know what I'm saying, about doing what you love, doing everything like that. The reason why I love the field and the industry in which we're going into, because one thing about these 9 to 5s is it don't matter how, like, I notice this in my job. It don't matter how hard I work, how hard I go, my pay is still the same. You know what I'm saying? One thing I like about what we're doing is when we really start to put the work and the energy and the effort into this, it shows. It reflects. You know what I'm saying? And it shows not only in a financial sense, because obviously we're not getting paid right now for this yet, but one day we will, and all the energy that we put into it will increase that
Say that.
substantially. But this has increased like the amount of work that I put in here, although it's drained sometimes, but it's increased my mood, my energy. It gives me a sense of purpose and increases me in different ways in which I'm like, okay, the hard work that I'm putting to this makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting the results out of it. So I just basically want to say that. But the other thing I want to say, bro, Phase, we really could tap into everything y'all talking about. Like, we got music elements on the show in which we use. Lonnie, come on now, send us something.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? We got, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, EG, expect greatness, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we can bring. It's like so many different people that we can low key We got the pod, we got the platform here for a reason. I said Unphased Productions. We can
Come
come
on.
together and make this make sense now.
We
Yeah.
definitely
Calm down.
can, and I feel like we definitely are, and it's going to happen in an amazing way. And I
Mhm.
think one thing that
Too crazy.
I like think about a lot of times, and I think for you, like we had this conversation a lot, is that premature action. I think that hurt me a lot in other things that I did, right? So
Mhm.
that's why I had the thing in my head, and we talk about this too. Like, I want to get to 100. You know what I mean? Because it's funny because we did I think it was it 2020 or 2019 when we were all in the Ivy room up there.
Oh
Remember, we
yeah,
were
yeah,
all in the,
yeah.
that
We
was
was
a
in Ivy.
podcast. And if we would have started that podcast right there, that was before like podcasts were even really a thing, but we really
Yeah,
conceptually knew what they
yeah,
were.
yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? And I like lost the footage. I had some angles, I didn't have
I
some angles, or
remember that.
whatever it is. You know
Wow.
what I mean? And that was the first form of an actual podcast that we actually did. So that was
Yeah.
even crazy. But I think the other thing too is like we did the BB4L podcast and all these different things too, which was amazing. So I can't wait. You know what I mean? Once we we're locked in now. That's why the 30 days was so important too, because we had to lock in and push through that. So I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that. And I think last thing, Lonnie, that I want to ask you, man, everything going on in the world, everything you have a new project coming out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You've been grinding to get this new project out. It hasn't been easy, you know what I mean? But nothing worthwhile, you know what I'm saying, is going to be easy. I
Mhm.
want to ask you, with all of the things going on in the world, how do you stay unfazed?
Kill the music.
Oh Lord. I say, if I'm being real, for me, it always goes back to like just remembering who I am, bro. If I'm being honest, remembering that whatever I'm going through, I already done been through, just in a different tint, a different shade, whatever it happens to be. So if I remember who I am and what I've already gotten through, it makes whatever comes up way easier to get through. If I'm being honest, so just remembering, staying true, all those things.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on. I love it. I love it, bro. We had 17. We had Lonnie
Um,
on the pod, man. But before we get out of here, bro, let them know. I want them to solo you out again. Let them know. I know we ain't talking about the project yet, but we know you got a project coming soon. But let them know anything you can about the upcoming
yeah.
project, where they could find you, where they could find all the other music you got, anything you want to plug out there, brother.
For sure. Nah, 1001. I appreciate y'all for having me, dog. This has been special. I really appreciate it. The platform and everything. Like, love what y'all doing. But yeah, you can find me formerly known as Graphene. So that's Graphene. So on Apple Music, you'll still see it as that until the new stuff come on. But now my name from an artist standpoint is my name in real life, which is Jelani, Jelani. You see the at the bottom is JE.Lonnie2. On Instagram, Twitter, really everything. And then got some new music coming out. It's you'll hear about pretty soon, but I got a single that's actually dropping next week, a song called Simple. So if you tap into the Instagram, you'll see, the release for that. But yeah, that's kind of the first piece that you'll see when it comes to the new project.
100%. And I think we're gonna have every like all of his links and all the music. We put the link tree, whatever we are able to show them. We'll make
Yeah,
sure we put it in there today. So y'all go check out Lonnie, everything that he's doing as far as music and everything, man. I'm so excited for this new project coming out. It's gonna be a big one. It's legendary because
Before
it's
y'all
cool.
get out of here, I gotta say this.
Go ahead, say it.
Anybody ever tell you like Vince Staples? We get a lot of these looking like celebrities on the screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
here we go. I thought
I'm
we
like
was
the whole
gonna get to
episode.
a file without hearing that. Yeah,
Did you thirsty? Please grab a Sprite. What's going
that's
on?
crazy.
Oh my
I've
God.
heard that. Yeah, I know. Link left it in the comments. I done heard it too many times, probably. Yeah, but yeah, no,
That's
I
hilarious.
heard that. For
Somebody
sure.
talk
That's
about
hilarious.
Vince favorite clips. They got you.
Nah,
That's
see,
They
hilarious.
got you.
that's crazy. But
But
yeah,
Jelani, brother, I appreciate you, man. Definitely not the last time you're gonna be back on, but everybody go
Oh,
check out that new project coming out soon. Go check out all his old stuff. Go check out his Instagram. He's probably gonna be posting content
for
as we
sure.
speak. So y'all go check it out. Appreciate it. It was day
We got something
17.
special for the exit.
You said what?
And we got something special for the exit. Y'all stay tuned, right?
Nah, we ain't got nothing today. We're gonna be back at it. We're gonna be back at it next time. We at it.
I'm Unphazed, yeah.